We're here. Streaming. Doing it. Welcome, welcome. Which side is that on? It's over here. It's better. There we go. I got a new setup. I would love to show stream, so let me see if I can. There we go. Much cleaner, right? I need to get some more cameras because I have a new desk that's off camera right here. I'm gonna use that one for drawing, illustrating. Hey, Miko leg. So yeah, new office setup. And let's see. Oh, I forgot to switch over. Let me set up my YouTube real quick. I did not realize that the camera wasn't working. Oh, it's not working because I'm using it on Twitch. So let me switch out of here. Switch back to this one. It doesn't like the fact that I'm using that camera in 2 apps. Give me 1 moment. Here's the video capture for USB. Oh. Well. Unfortunately, sorry, YouTube, you don't get to see my face today. I'll try again next time, and we're gonna try on a few more platforms anyways, so we'll get there. We'll get there for sure. But now I guess if you want to see what's going on, you're gonna have to be on Twitch. Let me switch up my background. It's not so distracting. It is cool, but a little distracting. Okay. And this might be an issue with OBS. Right now, OBS is freaking out, so I'm just gonna minimize it. Okay, what I will do is bring up YouTube chat in case anyone has anything to say. And should be good. YouTube, I'm looking at YouTube's live preview and it's still on that. It's still on the old screen. There's some crazy lag with it, I think. But whatever, all good. Currently, no viewers over there. All right, so let's get started. I want to work on this texture from Ecolect first. Okay, requested it in Discord. We have a Discord right now, but it's private. I'm going to be opening that up to be public soon. Just one thing at a time. I want to get some more traction going first before we do that. All right, so This is going to be a texture tutorial, so to speak. Where's my pen? Oh, it's right here. When doing textures, you want to start with a square, obviously. And in Photoshop, I mean, there's lots of ways to do this in other apps, but here, let me switch over some stuff here. So I'm not looking over to the side. The audio mixer down here. Stream info can go here. This looks like that. Okay, much better. Oh, and before I get started, quick shout outs to GodRot987. Thanks for the follow. Mystical Spark and Tylen. Oh, thank you very much for follows. Appreciate that. Helping my little channel grow. Okay, so when you are doing textures in Photoshop and you want them to tile or anything else like that, the trick is to turn on pattern preview, and you'll see it tiles on all sides, and that's 99% of the work right there. So I'm going to start with that. In Photoshop, I like to unlock this background layer, and that allows me to do some pretty much everything on it like you normally would with a layer. Background layers are usually locked. I never understood that about Photoshop. I feel like I'm always unlocking that thing. So maybe there's a default option I'm unaware of. Okay, so let me grab this image, copy image, and paste it in here. Alright, and you can see right away that the image is bigger than the area. And so before we get this into pattern preview mode, I'm actually going to back out and paste the image, and you'll see that it goes beyond, and I get the full thing. Oh, right. New setup here I'm testing out. Okay, switching this up. To chill. We'll do lo-fi. Alright. The V key. V. And then, did I hook up shift to this yet? I have like a mini keyboard down on my desk, but it doesn't have all the keys. It's actually more like a macro pad than anything, and I have some keys hooked up to it for Photoshop, but anyways. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to get all of the detail onto this texture as possible, as much as I can at least. And a couple things to note, I've downsized it. So when you're downsizing it, you want to pick the interpolation that fits best. And I think sharper is good for this because there's lots of crunchy snow details in there I want to keep. And then if I zoom in here, won't me. Okay, fine, we'll just hit enter. There. What? Oh, Z. There we go. You can see I still have plenty of got plenty of texture in there still. Now, a couple things to note. There's ice up here, and then there's wood down here. So that's going to be a problem. We need that to be a fluid transition, or just avoid the ice altogether. I mean the wood altogether. So, we'll do, let's see, what we'll do is we'll make it so there's no wood. It's just all ice. Alright, now that the thing, we have all the resolution packed into the second. Yeah, the YouTube preview is so behind. I wonder why. It's still in the starting soon. I don't get it. I really don't get it. How does that work? Is it like playing in slow-mo or something? I don't know. Anyways, I'm not going to be distracted by it anymore. The wood would make the tiling more noticeable because the color stands out. Yeah, you're right. So we're going to try to get rid of that wood. And the other thing too is behind this ice where it gets really thin, it's like a red color. So I would imagine we want that to be a little bit more muted. What we could do is do a mask on the whole thing and remove the red and make it just gray, essentially, or transparent. And you can optionally swap in colors if you want for like underneath the ice. So if you want underneath the ice to be transparent, you can leave it a transparent, or you can turn it on that layer and play with it that way. Now, Mikolek, do you have, or Miko? I'm just gonna say Miko. Miko, do you have Photoshop? I'll share this Photoshop file with you, and then you can play with those layers. And if not, I'll just give you some options. I'll just, export the PNGs, and then you'll have the options that way. Nope. Okay, I'll just give you I'll just give you the PNGs. It's not a big deal. And also, if you have Unity 3D, you can download the Photoshop package, and it'll allow you to open Photoshop files. So you could use that if you wish, and then inside of Unity, then you can play with the layers all you want. But I'll give you the PNG version because that's just easier to work with. Okay, so first thing is making that mask. So, I think what we'll do is duplicate the layer. Okay. And then I'm just gonna hide this other one. This layer now, I'm going to get all of those red values and I'm gonna really bring them out. And all those white values, and we're gonna bring them down. So I'll use that curves tool for that. And actually, no, I'll use the, I don't like the curves tool as much as I like the other one. Levels? No, yeah, it is a curve. Sorry, I'm confusing these two. Yeah, I use another app, and the curves tool looks much different. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is where it is red, right, which is like right here, I want the value to be high, and where it isn't, I want it to be really low. And then you have all the red that is in the white, and I don't want any of that. So I'm gonna do this thing here, and I'm gonna add another. I need an extra dot. There we go. Right there. Okay, now you can see how the red is just popping. Just want it basically to be like on and then off. Right there on one end. Trying to see what this is affecting, really. I think I'll do it down. I'll just go manually here with the brush tool. So let me get that red, hit the brush. Huh, I wonder if this works. Oh yeah, look at that. I didn't know I could do that. I was looking at the keyboard shortcuts for Photoshop today, and I noticed you can spin the brush tool with the arrows like this. So if I want to get something more narrow, get in there like this. All right. Now, I want to do a similar thing. We're working on this mask, so we can just get the snow out of there. And I think I do love the curves again. Leave red alone, and we're just going to tank the green. Now we're going to tank the blue. Yeah. And then red, we're going to do the opposite of tanking it. We're going to above it. Boop. Oh. I was hoping that would be white. But it's okay. So now we have it's either red or black. And simply going to make this black and white. Now it's gray and black. And, okay, enter. I forgot black and white has options on Photoshop. Yes, that's good, thank you. Alright, now I'm just going to play with the contrast a little bit. Not use legacy mode. And get that so the white is, disappears to that background there. Okay. And now I want to do I want to invert this? Yeah, I want to invert this, I think. So let's just do that real quick. That might have been the wrong move, but we'll see. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to hide it and bring back the original. I'm going to click on the mask button down here, and then I'll hold Alt and click on that, and hit paste, and then go back out. Oh, shoot. Hold on, try that again. Go in there. We're going to Control Shift V for paste in place. So otherwise it'll paste it in the middle. Hold Alt again. And see, now you just have the snow. Now you just have the snow. Now you can do other stuff with it, like you can give it different types of backgrounds, and if you want to put it on concrete or dirt, whatever, you have that part of the snow where it's a little bit thinner. Alright, so what I'm going to do is rasterize this layer, so it gets rid of them. I guess not. Okay, so a better way to do that is to just simply merge it. Merge these two. Merge layers. Alright, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to go switch back to that pattern preview. Say okay. And you'll see that it's not that great. So I want to duplicate it because I want to preserve the sort of original and turn off that preservation. And I think it's good to keep it in that stripe. You could have, when we started, I could have rotated the whole thing, and rotating it would have been nice because then you'd kept more of the resolution, because diagonally you just have more pixels than you do vertically. But it's cool. It's cool. I think it'll look better this way, honestly. So now what we need to do is blend it a little. I'm just gonna move the whole thing down. Let's see if I hold Control. No, hold Shift. Just sort of to the middle. And to blend, and most painting apps have this tool. It's a clone tool, a stamp tool. I'm gonna blend this like puffy snow here out so it gets to the edge. And so the first thing you do is you place the stamp position where you want to start cloning from. So I'm gonna clone it right on this edge here, right there. And now you can see I got that edge that's there under my paintbrush. So I'll take that and let's go ahead and start painting in like this. And then it's repeating what I got over there. And I'm going to let go. I'm going to do it again. I'm sort of here in the middle. Oh. And I'm going to blend this part here together. That's it. So now it's completely sort of smooth. It looks pretty uniform there. But maybe this is like, I could see this sort of being like a tire track if you wanted to. So what we can do is we can duplicate this over, but also notice there's a seam right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase the seam with my erase tool, and then I'm going to pull out the stamp tool again, and stamp just somewhere over here, and stamp it like this, and then we're going to get this edge here. Come in on the edge, put down, there you go. Oh, there's this little spot right here. Clean it up. Alright. It's looking nice. I'll duplicate this layer. Enter. Press the V button. Just use my arrow keys here. And you don't want it to line up perfectly like that because then you can see the tile next to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset it up like this. And I'm also going to flip it and make it a different size just so slightly. It'll be a little bit smaller, right? But I do want it to have the right spacing here and there. There. It doesn't look exactly the same. So now the problem is you have this part here, this space in between. I think a good solution for this, instead of copying this over and over again, because you'll start seeing the pattern, is go back to the original and get some more snow texture from there. Because it's super high resolution and we can probably fill in some of these gaps with that. So I'm going to create a new file. And let's see if I have it in my buffer. No, let's grab it. And you can see, like some of this detail maybe we can capture. Like that. Back over here, just create a new layer, paste it in. And what I'll do is we'll just use like bits of it here and there. So I'll put some right there. I'll create a new layer. And we'll just do a lot of erasing. And put this bit here. Okay. I'll merge these together. And now to like sort of figure out where I want to erase and what I want to keep, I'll just reduce the opacity of the layer I'm erasing. And then anywhere I see this overlap, I'll erase. And then maybe like these hard lines I'll erase as well. So I'll get my eraser tool. So I definitely want to erase like in here. Try to get up to that edge. Alright, definitely don't want this line right there. There's another line. Now let's do this side. Oops, I went a little too far there. I don't want to go that far. Just don't want that brown background. Okay, get that stamp tool again. I'm just going to stamp this clean. Stamp up, come on. Stamp over here. And a little stamp. Come on. Stamp right there. Just a little stamp from over here, a little stamp from over there. And there you go. Still doesn't look perfect, and especially when I bring this opacity back in. You see there's some parts that are opaque and then some parts that are not. So what we can do is do the same thing with that masking technique that we did on the other one. Because this is it's more like darker colors than red, it'll be a little bit easier. So what I'll do is, same principle though, I'm going to duplicate this. Okay. And going to go into that contrast, crank it, use legacy, crank the contrast. Okay, not that far. Like there. Okay. Make it black and white. Images, adjustments, black and white. Okay. Now invert it. Image. Wait, what did I do? What's going on? Oh, I forget about black and white dialogue that pops up. Okay. Invert it. All right. Copy this. Now let's turn on the mask tool. Alt click into that. Paste. Alt click out. I think maybe I shouldn't have inverted it. We can always do this. Control Alt. Image. Is that what I want? Yeah, that looks more along the lines of what we were going for here. And honestly, it looked really cool when I did that contrast, so I'm going to crank it again. Look at that. Get all that cool contrast, and we keep the opacity. Okay. Now I'm just going to get rid of as much as we don't need here. We don't really need this. Pop that opacity down a bit. Look how straight of a line that is right there. What I think we need to do is match these colors a little bit. I think it's a bit darker. This legacy person. Come on, legacy. Yeah, it's a bit darker. It's hard to get away from that straight edge. I'm trying to understand what caused that. I certainly don't have it over there. Did I make it? Oh, I see it. It's with this. Rough up this line here. It's very obvious when you have straight lines in something that's supposed to be natural. There we go. A little rougher edge. Take the edge off. Okay, that looks more sort of fluid and stuff. Although I'm afraid it took too much off this when I was erasing it. And these colors don't quite match quite yet. And it needs, you can definitely see that resolution. It needs like a noise and stuff. Yeah, that noise will help. Mhm. And I also think it will help if I were to desaturate it. That, yeah, it looks okay. What if I brought this back and just did like a, no, that'd be great. Now what I'm thinking is to, in fact, use this. It just doesn't look good what I made. So let's try one other option here. See? Oh, what the heck? Oh my god. Now, I can just keep duplicating this. These little rows of snow. Duplicate all this. And then, let's see, these are all the rows. Can merge them. Oh, I missed one. Merge. Duplicate again. And sort of share it up there. And this one, I think this layer, I'm gonna flip it. Both ways. Oh crap, that was the image. Edit. Transform. That's what I meant to do. Transform. There we go. Okay. We got some snowy stuff going on here. And let's say, let me open up another texture just to show you what it might look like. Here's some like rocky kind of texture. Oops, that rocky texture is tiny. Let me get a bigger one. Just created a nice rocky. Where'd it go? Oh yeah, this one's good. Huh? What did I copy? Oh, I like copied some nonsense. There you go. I mean, That kind of pops. I think that looks nice. Oh, to be a quest in a hat. Alright, Miko. I think we're about done with this one. Let me know what you think. I hope you like it. I'll save this version and I'll save the version that's transparent, and you can like layer on other stuff if you'd like. No. Snow with rock BG. Snow. Photoshop's great. I've been using it for. I first pirated Photoshop. I pirated it at a LAN party in high school. That must have been 2010, 2011, and it was CS2 or something like that. Maybe those names like don't line up perfectly, but yeah, I've been using it since then, and it's great. I don't pirate it anymore now. I just pay for it because they've made it pretty cheap. Um, but it wasn't always cheap. It used to be ridiculously expensive and easy to pirate. So of course everybody just had Photoshop. Um, but now I think it's probably more risky to pirate software in general. I don't recommend it at all. I don't know if does stream does Twitch hear my audio? Like, I mean, I know they hear my voice, but do you hear the beats? I don't know if you were hearing it before, but you should hear it now. Okay, let's do a quest from a hat. On this Friday evening. I'm digging my new office setup. It's nice and sort of roomy. Talk about your favorite video game ever. Share your game dev opinion. Okay, those work well together. Video game ever. I mean, my opinion of my favorite video game ever is like changes day to day. I've been thinking a lot about Sword and Sorcery. I recommend you look it up. It's by Cappy Brothers. I played a game that is sort of like a spiritual successor, or maybe it's like part of the same universe called Jet. And yeah, one hat, one quest. um, and I've been playing Jet, which is it's interesting. It's not the best video game I've ever played, but it definitely is nice and atmospheric. But Sword and Sorcery, I can honestly say, is one of the best video games I've ever played. It's one that the gameplay is there. I mean, it's not ground-breaking gameplay by any means, but the story and the atmosphere and the music, it goes really far and really hard. And especially if you're wearing headphones and yeah, Sword and Sorcery. It's out on every platform you can imagine. Get it if you've never played it. It's not a long game, but it's frustrating sometimes because it's like, what the heck do I do? Um, I remember feeling a little lost at one point. I had to like double back a couple times before I like eventually figured out what I had to do. But when I did, It felt very organic, and it had to do with space babies. That's all I'll say. Game dev opinion. Let's see. I should say something unique. I've been saying the same game dev opinion the last few streams, so I'll say something different this time. Um, Game juice is very important. It's underrated. Games nowadays, I have noticed, have juice sort of all over. Charlotte is a space baby, but it's in like it's not it's not as juicy as it could be. Um, and if you're wondering what game juice is, it's essentially just when a game feels really responsive and good and has lots of just juicy detail. Um, and it ultimately is what gives you that game feel. Well, I think, you know, developers should focus on that more rather than focus on maybe the IP or the story or whatever. I just feel like developers lose sight that they're making a game, and games should be entertaining everywhere, you know, and you should make it worth people's time. And even a menu system has good game feel. A menu system makes it feel like it's worth your time. But when the menu system's stiff and boring and default assets and stuff like that, it just, oh, okay, I guess we're playing this. Because it's like, what, you're not even gonna put energy into your menu? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Draw a character and show something that's on my desk. Oh, so I hooked up this. Let me see if I can. Yeah, this is what I've been playing with. It's like a drum pad, but I've mapped it to a few different macros so I can use it in Photoshop and stuff. And it's okay. It kind of works. Sometimes it just disconnects for no reason and I have to start it over. Um, but let's see if it works right now. Heb, Heb, so I press buttons, it just puts like different letters and yeah, it works. It's working. So I have it right now. I have like the letters arranged. It's like the ones I use for Photoshop are up here. And in theory, I want to map all the keyboard commands that I'm like reaching up here for down to my little pad. Okay, draw a character. Um, Charlotte and I were joking about Mr. Fishington and how we should give him a Bob Ross kind of look. So I guess I can attempt to do that. It is gonna be a real rough one. There's this Bob Ross throw. Hmm. Trying to understand the geometry of his face here. This line back here is kind of screwing me up, so I'm gonna erase it. There Okay, the geometry I'm sort of trying to realize between the size of his face and his ears here. It's almost a straight line. It's almost a straight line, and then he's got sort of a curve the other way. Here, let me flip this thing. Oh yeah, I can nail it. I can nail it when I'm flipped it this way. Okay. Sometimes it takes. And his nose is up here. That's even wrong. That was the line I'm going for, but I don't think that's right because of his ears. So let's start the ears over too. Just the side of his head in a funny angle. I really want him to be looking here. Let's do this differently. He's kind of half looking at, like his vision is looking straight at this, but his face is sort of half looking at the camera. So you should really only see one ear. And his hair comes over the top of his head, so just sort of. I don't think you're going to be able to see his other ear over the fro. And his nose would. Yeah. Eyes are hard. Eyes are hard. Eyes are hard. He's got. This is the tip of his nose. He's got this part here. And actually, I think I should dip down more. This part's puffy. Puffs out of it. And then his face continues back there a bit, not too much. And his eyes should be kind of looking right at that painting. That. Just erase some of this extra ink here. Should maybe see his other eye a bit. Yeah. Chin's not gonna be that pronounced. I have him like a little beard right here. That's too much. Alright, now I think his fro needs to be bigger too. Yeah. Comes out further. There we go. Nice poofy fur. And what does Bob Ross wear? He wears just sort of like a baggy kind of shirt, like a button down. This cat's huge compared to the easel. Just gonna erase it. It was there just sort of for me to have some reference, like what was, what's he facing? His face is so weird. It's like squished up a little bit in here. It doesn't have much dimension. I'm like bring out the side of his face more. That's where his ear would be. Drawing's hard, yo. That's just, you know why it's cursed? It's because my brush is too big. It needs to be like, yeah, bigger than that though. And the other part that's cursed is right here. Yeah, see? Much nicer. And that's gonna be his collar. I'll clean that up later. I'm not really worried about it. I just want to do his shirt. Most. Bring this thing down a bit. Get some more room to work with. Kind of looks like a Shiva, honestly. Come on, B. Good. Enter. B. I think my problem starting out with this picture was I had such a huge brush, and it was really hard to get like meaningful detail in there. Man, my eraser's too big. Still kind of looks like a sheep. He's gonna hold this thing, the palette, his fingers up and his thumb through it. It's like that would be his thumb, right? And then his fingers are like kind of like that. So what's Felix got for dinner tonight? Chicken nuggets, maybe a little squash, peas and carrots. Okay, and then painting, you're gonna hold it like this. Hold it like that. Maybe like that. The thumb and the brush are sort of in parallel. And the palm is down, and the rounder part of the thumb bit is sort of down too. And I'm facing, yeah, in any way, unless you're behind him, that's what you're sort of seeing. So the thumb is parallel, and oh, see, this is already kind of wrong. Okay, so the easel is like right here. Okay, this is the thumb, and here's the paintbrush. Thumb, let's say it starts here. And then literally just sort of scoops down. Okay. And then there's a long line where the thumb sort of meets, and then in the middle of that line is where the knuckle is. So the line is like here. And then the knuckle's like right in the middle. Like that. And then it sort of quickly flattens out. Oh, I did the knuckle wrong then. Quickly flattens out. So it's got a little bit more meat. A little bit more meat. And then it flattens out. But then, oh. Yeah. There. That's not totally cursed. Let's give him one more finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. As all mammals should have. I'm just kidding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. This is like cutting off circulation. There. Something like that. I don't want to mess with that anymore. Silly. Whatever. Nice. Chicken stir fry. New car. Man, man's into cars. I feel like his shirt, Bob's shirt, would have been a little bit more poofy. There. I need to figure out how to work on making Mr. Fishington a little bit more cat-like. I feel like he looks so much like a dog. Do these eyes over again. That's cute. That's more like a cat. I think it's all in the eye. Like, it's gotta look really feline. I, Mr. Fishington, Mr. Bob Fishington, Bob Fishington Ross. Right. Did I do the other? What was the thing? Show something on my desk. Did I ever? Oh yeah, I did. I did that. Okay, I did it. That was aggressive. Charlotte's making cheeseburgers for dinner and cookies. Not at the same time though. That would be ridiculous. Work on texture. Okay. Plug projects. Oh, cool. I'll plug projects first, and then I'll do the texture. Did you know I have a million things on itch.io? And while I'm working on the next biggest thing, in the meantime, you can check out what I have already, maybe. See if you like it. I recommend checking out Pyramids. It's pretty cool. Its story doesn't really exist. It's sort of still in my head, sort of still writing it. The game, the story that's in the game, sort of alludes to where I'm planning to go. Um, but the gameplay is really fun. I think the gameplay, forget the story. The gameplay is really good. Um, I've been working at building better um, character controllers and things since Pyramids. This game's almost a year, 2 years old, something like that. So, um, play it and then play my next game, which would be Squashbuckler, down here at the bottom. And you can see sort of how it's gotten better. Snowman Rush is sort of in between. And it's been progressively getting better. And Squashbuckler is here at the bottom because it's so unfinished in its current state. But I've been working on it. So it's just I haven't uploaded the latest build, and the latest build's not really ready yet to be uploaded. So we have a game jam coming later this year, 32-bit jam spring cleaning, and I'll be working on Squashbuckler for that. So I'll bring back the existing team that worked on it before, see if anyone's interested, and we'll get some NDA signed probably, and work on that again. I'm also working on a competitor at Dungeons and Dragons called Quests and Creatures. Recommend checking that out. Orange version is probably the easiest version to jump into. Brass version is the most complicated. So and all the creatures that you build in each version are cross compatible. So on foot and by mind is a cool thought exercise when you're walking around. So if you find yourself on a walk, go download that and follow the instructions, and maybe you can come up with some cool ideas. And then Karaoke Tabs is a karaoke app, and it's my most popular app. I get, maybe 10 views a day, um, and that's solid, like every day. And the rest of the apps, maybe 1 or 2 views a day at this current moment. So that's my stuff. All right, texture time. I smell cookies. I did that nice snow texture. Think of a cool texture. I'm gonna do like a cool temple, like a texture from like a temple. Oh, banana nut muffins and brown butter for cookies, right? Of course. All right. Do like a weird temple kind of texture. Oh, oops. So this is gonna be like sort of a basic nothing. This is gonna be a shadowy kind of ledge. And then this is gonna be a bunch of runes. And then this top bit is gonna be like edging, like what's it called? Like just the edge. And then this blue line here is gonna have a highlight, and I'll do highlights here instead of doing like a divot. It'll be a highlight. It'll be like a bump out. So if I want to tile it along the corner, it'll look nice. No, because then otherwise you're gonna see it on the edge. Trim sheets. Swizzle, what's up, Swizzle? What's a trim sheet? What does that mean? Yeah. Anyways, this is gonna be more like a pattern. Hey, it's like a set of trims on a single texture. Set of trims. Oh, this part here. Yeah. Trim sheet. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do is I'll add another layer and increase my size and go ahead and just lightly go in here, not full force. And the other thing too is I wanted to add some dimension to it, some of that kind of action going on. So an object can use UVs to segment out the repeating parts selectively. So it's like if this was highlighted here, actually, so like if this was highlighted here, I would repeat like the texture. I would repeat this stuff sort of in between these, but I wouldn't repeat this. Is that what you mean by like repeating parts selectively? Because that's cool. I don't know exactly how to do that, but that would be really useful. Because then I could do stuff like that. I just don't know how to tile just this part of the texture. I'm thinking about I'm not using Blender, I'm using Wings 3D. I'm trying to figure out if I could do this in Wings. Oh, what I have to do? I could do it in Wings, but I would have to subdivide. I think I would have to subdivide the texture, or I'm sorry, the model, and then everywhere I want the texture to repeat has to be another edge. So I can map So I can map just that repeating part to that. But within that edge, I wouldn't be able to map two images or two segments of an image on a single face. So that's the thing that I'm confused about when you say a trim sheet. I wanna look that up. I'm gonna do some more like investigation into it. But it just seems that does seem really interesting to me. Oh, I'm still on green. Oops. That seems really interesting to me. I want like this part is supposed to come down a little bit more. Trying to understand the geometry of this right now. Thinking about trim sheets and what I'm painting. This is supposed to be like. It's like this part is. I might have to redo this because it's not. Okay. It's more like this mask, this gray needs to continue down. And then it goes out like that. Yeah. This is more lines of what I was trying to do. Yeah, usually you segment vertically if it's repeating horizontally. Exactly. I mean, Wings is just another 3D modeler, and it's, it. The thing about 3D modeling software doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, it needs to export a 3D file that is compatible with other, um, software. So whether it's Blender or Wings or whatever, the output's going to be the same. So that's what I was trying to figure out. Because Wings is pretty bare bones, but it gives you all the features that you would get in those other apps. And so I'm like, well, what am I missing, right? I could think maybe a shader would work with that, but you can't export a shader. I mean, usually you don't do that with the model, right? The model is just the UVs maybe and the geometry info. So yeah, you would have to subdivide it, and that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if Wings has like a something to make that easier. Um, I'll have to look into it. I doubt it, but that would be powerful. That would be pretty powerful. I'll play around with that later. So the idea here of what I'm doing is I'm trying to add some dimension to this, and I want these to be like little arches like this. In my mind's eye, the image was kind of fuzzy to begin with, so that's why, fuzzy in, fuzzy out. And I don't want this to be, yeah, that's better. I cut it too close. No, that kind of looks like crap. Never mind. I need to do like halfway. Yeah, it needs to like follow sort of a path here. I am overcomplicating this texture. I just want to do something cool. But that kind of looks cool actually. I want it to be like arc. Ah, ah. Something like that. Ah, it's too bright. I just like now I'm like looking at this. It's so confusing what the hell the geometry is actually doing. Like, okay, I wanted to repeat this like just all across, but what is actually happening? Okay, I can see this concrete goes down here, and then what happens right here? I feel like if anything, this color should be what I'm using to sort of. So let me. I think it'll help me if I just use the right values. So. And then there's like, I guess a darker color here. Hmm. That's as close as I'm gonna get to sort of what I'm thinking. Do I want it to do that? Okay, that is what I was thinking. Now we're there, finally. And this sort of blends into that color. Because it's like the shadows tapering off as it falls in. Something like that. Alright, let's just make this straight. Flatter. And now I'm just gonna sort of copy that and copy pasta. My favorite type. Mamma mia. How do I paste in place? There. I was using the wrong keyboard. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, that's here. bits of stuff. I was wondering why it didn't matter. It's because of that. Okay. It's not good. Okay. Not my best work, but it's done now. Let me actually merge these two. Thanks. What program? Wait, what program is this? Krita. I actually have Krita on my. I have a Linux. I. Okay, let's start over. I have a Microsoft Surface, and oh, you're being silly. Okay, this is Photoshop. Yeah, Krita's great. I have a Microsoft Surface. I installed Linux on it, and I put Krita on it, and it's great. It's really nice, and it's old hardware, but Krita just runs so well on it. And I really need to use it more. It's just sitting over there collecting dust. Um, it's hard for me to just. I'm so used to Photoshop. It's one of those things. Yeah, Krita. Mm-hmm. I want to do kind of a. Maybe what I'll do is I'll move this whole thing down here so it lines up. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I think we'll keep it nice simple. I was gonna do like runes or something, but now I want to do just some cracks and some noise and call it a day. Couple cracks there. Some just divots. Some random detail. I put like a scratch right here. some of the I'm just giving it a rounded edge here. The edge isn't so hard, you know, it's got a little bit of softness to it. Now, some highlights. I remember my first trial Photoshop, I think it was in high school, so many blending styles and everything, oh my goodness. I remember taking like pictures of items in video games and then like creating layers around them and then having those like layer properties and just all those different like, you know, the bevel and the outer glow and inner glow. And I used to have this trick where I give it an outer glow and then an inner glow, but make it look like the bevel, and then add the bevel on top of it and make it look. It was so cool. I used to do that. I don't do it anymore. I'd rather hand paint it now, but occasionally I will do some, you know, some shadows and stuff with the layer properties tool. And yeah, just blending layers. There's so much you can get with just noise and some stock photography. That's not around with that stuff. Yeah. I used to be big into Illustrator too, and I was part of the. It was like, I guess I forget what we called it, but it was like commercial print making or something. We just make T-shirts, and the school, you know, as long as you would bring money in for the T-shirts and the ink, you could use their equipment after work, after school. So I'd hang out and just make the weirdest weirdest T-shirts, give them to my friends, and then we would clean out the sublimation, we'd clean out the screens um, with pressure washers and stuff. It was fun back in the day. Okay, just kill the opacity on that. Looks good. Alright, now let's do noise layer. This one will be finished. Just coating the whole thing in noise. Just reduce the opacity. Maybe do like lighten, or I'm sorry, overlay. Yeah. I just don't want it to affect those higher values as much. And what I'll do is another trick is I will duplicate this, because it's a middle opacity. Hit the erase tool and then go to town and have now you get like a two-tone sort of situation going on. So I think I want the middle to be darker. Oops. I want the middle to be darker. Yeah. You can even do things like I can create another layer, make it 3-tone, which I'll do. I'll just erase this part, make this the lightest bit. Oh, I messed up. And this will be, no, this will be the least. Just enough to see the difference, I think. I think right there looks good. It's kind of close to what I had it. Yeah, screen printing. Yeah, it was a cool class, like slash club. We're done with this one. I like it. Kind of like a fancier. I don't know, like I was working on this level called the Bloodstained Castle. Sorry, working on a level called Bloodstained Castle for Squashbuckler, and I feel like this would fit well with that level. Do you still do vector art? I haven't done it in a long time. I miss it though. The most vector art I'll do is typography. Um, I think, and I do, and 3D modeling, right? I mean, that kind of counts as, I mean, so, but like illustrative stuff, like doing logos, like if I had a chance to do a logo, maybe I would use it. Um, yeah, Vec 3 versus Vec 2. And also the thing with 2D, it's more about the curve and getting those curves right and getting them either pointy or using the Bezier tool. Or 3D, it's just points and edges. Um, but yeah, I just haven't had an excuse or reason to use it. I mean, all of my stuff right now is just all in game dev space, and that uses more more bitmap art. And when I was doing more web development, I think I did a lot more vector stuff because it scales better. Vector, graphics scale, of course, on the web really well. So I was doing all sorts of stuff with that. But alas, I quit my web dev job. I'm no longer web development. Never again. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. Okay, that's the end of my stream. Couple announcements before I go. So I want to do some more streams. I was talking to Charlotte about doing some alternative times. This is going to be the one I do the most still. This is going to be the daily because this is perfect time for me. I want to do more streams earlier in the day because I know a lot of people overseas want to watch me work because I work with a lot of people overseas. So we'll probably do some earlier in the day. And when it gets closer to game jam time, which should be like in March or April, I'll be streaming almost like all day, every day during the game jam. So it'll be pretty intense. Um, so let me think. Anything else I want to mention? No. Check out Linktree. I'll post it again. And tree link. Should really have this thing ready to go. Here it is. Check out. I'm up on the socials. I mean, if you're checking out the streams, you pretty much know what's on my socials. I'm pasting. I'll probably post a few screenshots of this stuff out there. I want to be more engaged with my social media platforms, and I want to start up the Discord and get more engagement going that way. And hopefully start selling some asset packs the end of February. That's my goal right now. Just get something sold by the end of February. All right, that's it, stream. Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys, for watching. Talk to y'all later. Bye.